नमस्कार दर्शकवृन्द, कार्यक्रम आवाजमा स्वागत गर्छु। साथमा छु म नवराज पोखरेल र आजको यो आवाजको एपिसोडमा हामी चर्चा गर्छौं एउटा बालकलाई कसरी सिकाउने। विभिन्न अप्रोचहरू संसारभरि छन्। एउटा नयाँ अप्रोच आएको छ म्युजिकबाट पनि बालबच्चाहरूलाई चाहिँ राम्रो उनीहरूको चाहिँ ओभरअल डेभलपमेन्टको लागि सिकाउन सकिन्छ र यो खालको अप्रोचलाई अफ सुवर्क भनेर जर्मनीको एउटा इन्भेन्टरले भनौँ, त्यहाँको एउटा चाहिँ व्यक्तिले यो निकालेको र अहिले नेपालमा पहिलोचोटि यसलाई प्रयोग गरिँदैछ र यो प्रयोग गर्नको लागि अस्ट्रेलियाबाट सिन्थिया हवार्ड नेपाल आउनुभएको छ यही कार्यक्रम सञ्चालन गर्नको लागि। र उहाँले आफैले म्युजिकल इन्स्ट्रुमेन्ट बनाउँदाखेरि साना बालबालिकाहरूलाई कसरी बनाइन्छ त्यो म्युजिकल इन्स्ट्रुमेन्ट भनेर त्यहाँ सिकाउने, इङ्गेज गराउने र त्यही बनाएको म्युजिकल इन्स्ट्रुमेन्टबाट उनीहरूलाई चाहिँ बजाउन सिकाउने, नाच्न, गाउन, पढ्न र उद्देश्य चाहिँ के हो भन्दाखेरि यो हाम्रो मस्तिष्कको विकास राम्ररी होस् भनेर त्यो गर्ने क्रममा अहिले उहाँ नेपालमा हुनुहुन्छ र उहाँले गरेको काम पहिले यहाँलाई म एउटा सानो क्लिपबाट देखाउन चाहन्छु। हामीसँग एउटा भिडियो क्लिप छ। उहाँहरूले कसरी बच्चाहरूलाई सिकाउनुहुन्छ, म्युजिकल इन्स्ट्रुमेन्ट कसरी बजाउनुहुन्छ, हेरौँ एउटा क्लिप पहिले।
Show me everybody that. That's what we do, just where the whole roundabout. But we want this to be E. So G, good, and then take it angle down like this down there. So down, like this, and makes the wood split. It splits the wood, and then it doesn't work. So I'll just run. Listen to this one.
Duy घण्टा लाग्दा चिल्लो
That's better.
Then how do you adjust it?
Oh, okay, you cut at the ends, make it shorter. Shorter it is, higher the note.
Oh, sorry, I have put it. यो थियो सिन्थिया र जोनाथन मार्क विटनले बनाएको मरिम्बा र डिङबक्स जस्ता म्युजिकल इन्स्ट्रुमेन्टबाट बच्चाहरूलाई खेल्न सिकाएको र यो गराउने मुख्य व्यक्ति हुनुहुन्छ सिन्थिया हावर्ड र उहाँ चाहिँ चेयर अफ अस्ट्रेलियन सोसाइटी अफ म्युजिक एजुकेसन तालमेन्सियाको च्याप्टर चेयर पनि हुनुहुन्छ। सिन्थिया हावर्ड, आई वेलकम यु इन आवर स्टुडियो।
Thank you very much. Namaste.
Namaste. And because you have seen the video clip, that's the work you have been doing in Nepal for the first time this year.
First time this year.
This year. Since you have been focusing that the children can learn better through music, and as an experienced teacher, you have been practicing this, not only in Nepal, but in your country, Australia, and in other countries in the world as well. What makes you think that children learn better through music?
There's a lot of evidence and research to support this argument that to have a quality music education improves a lot of other areas within the curriculum. So language skills improve, numeracy skills improve, the ability to be able to work together
motor skills improves because they dance and they move, the motor skills of
absolutely,
the
so balance, and in fact there's a lot of connections with music and PE or physical education studies. There's lots of neurological connections that are made within the brain at an early age that enhance child development, which have lifelong benefits. So things like Alzheimer's can be delayed quite significantly. There's evidence of less mental illness. I guess that the only concern I have is that if we always look for music to teach because it gives these extra benefits, we forget the reason that we engage in music. And we engage in music because it's part of our souls, it's part of our lives, and we do it because there's a beautiful feeling that comes from making music, which is unexplainable in some instances. And music, like many of the arts areas, is a way of being able to communicate ideas in a way that words cannot.
So they learn through music better. That's the argument you have been practicing too.
Well, I would say so, and I mean I'd make this argument through the arts too. We are born as artists, I guess you could say, because from birth we are making sounds, we are seeing pictures and we are seeing shapes, and we are trying to make sense of our world, and we actually use the arts to do that. But as we get older, other things get in the way, and we lose that sense that, you know, when we go out and we want to have a certain food, or we want to wear certain clothes, or we want to hear music in the car, and we want to have a bit of fun, we forget that we're actually using the arts as a way of being able to experience normal life. And that's a sad thing within that's global, I think, that we devalue the place of the arts within our cultures.
So in a way you are trying to say that every child is unique, they born uniquely, they are an artist, every child is an artist, and music is because related to their souls, to our souls. So if you try to activate the music from their heart, their life could be better in any area they go.
Yes, I definitely believe so, and I think most of us can identify that as we get older, we maybe don't trust ourselves as much. When we are free in music, and we are free to be able to explore and experiment, we allow ourselves a freedom within ourselves to take on in any parts, any aspect of our lives.
You have been emphasizing music so much that you think that it is very, very, very much essential for any human being.
I do.
Of course.
Absolutely.
So, what do you think, if a child is not exposed to music in his childhood, can he still develop better?
Well, I guess so. I've been a musician, I guess, all my life, so I've always experimented. I was very lucky to grow up in a family of musicians, and I understand that many cultures, well, actually, I think most cultures actually do experience music. It's just with, I guess, as societies are developing, we lose sight of that. In Africa, they think it's quite funny that you have a music teacher. Why do you have a music teacher? You know, that's like having a teacher to teach you how to walk, because music is so much part of their lives. When they're working, they're singing. And I think there's elements of that here in Nepal as well.
Mm-hmm. Okay. You and your team invent, modify and customize musical instruments. You engage the young children to witness how the instrument is being made, and later on they play the musical instrument themselves. They certainly enjoy. But don't you think that this is a very long process and very tiresome process for the children to show them how to make the instruments, how it is made, the process of making, and later on, of course, they perhaps enjoy when they start playing. Don't you think the process itself you have really put together into your system is a little tiresome?
Well, it's interesting you say that, because I think from the footage that you showed
Yes.
earlier, I don't think any of the children are tiresome. In fact, they eagerly have been coming to Music Art Society, where we've been building the instruments. And I'd just also like to say that John Maiden has been the person who's developed the making of the marimbas and the ding boxes, and I feel very privileged that John has opted to come over to Nepal and meet the community of Music Art Society. The children have loved the experience. They keep coming. In fact, we find we have too many children helping us with the instruments, because we've only got so many jobs to do, and so we share the job. But I think there's also a great deal of personal pride and satisfaction, and particularly now when we're starting to play the instruments, I don't think the children can get enough. I think the benefits are huge.
Children might not get tired, but
I
what
don't
about the
think
teachers?
so.
What about the teachers?
Maybe the teachers get tired. I know that we usually have a lunch break, and John has been teaching the children a quick tune before we go to lunch. And when we come back in an hour's time, what the children have developed from the tune and taken it is just been fantastic. So they keep going. We get our rest. We're okay.
And do you think that this kind of approach alone can teach the young children almost everything, or this is just a part-time kind of approach, like they go to school, they have to go to school for formal education, and in schools they don't have this kind of environment and situation and approach, so they lack all these things. But now you have come, and this Music Art Society has taken the initiation, and so that the few children over there, maybe 20 or 30 children over there, got this opportunity. That's okay. But can it last long in this way?
Well, that's a really great question, and I guess one of my roles, I feel, has been to come to Nepal and work with Sumit Pokhrel, who's the director of Music Art Society, and show some musical approaches that I use in my schools that works for all children, whether they have a musical background or not. And my hope is that the teaching I give is something that teachers from Music Art Society can take out to their broader communities. And it's not an approach where you have to do everything that I say. It's just a creative way of learning in which any culture can put their culture into the music and teach in that way. We have been raising funds in Australia to support the project that I'm doing, and Tasmay, my organisation in Tasmania, Australia, have been a great support, and so too have my good friends and Facebook friends. And I guess it's I'm doing this as a volunteer, and I don't know how long I can maintain that momentum.
You do it everything free of cost at this moment.
Well,
how
at
long
this
will
moment,
it go?
at this moment.
Okay, this approach, I'll come to this donation and contribution in the later part. This approach was developed by a German gentleman called Karl Orff.
That's correct, yes.
And you have been promoting it throughout the world. And now this time you are in Nepal. Is this approach really credible? What do you think? Because you have experienced and you have been involved in this approach, promoting and practicing. Do you think this approach is really credible?
Well, there's many approaches, and offshore work is what we call this approach that I I probably use the most. But there's elements of Cordai that I also use. It's another approach. There's elements of Delcros, which is about movement, and many people may be familiar with the Suzuki approach. What I really like about the work I've done with offshore work is it allows me as an individual teacher to have my way of doing things. So the way I would do things with another compared to another offshore work practitioner may be quite different, but we generally follow four main rules, and that's that we sing, so we use the body or the voice. We use the body, so we use body percussion, which it might be on our legs. And we use movement, so dance, so that you feel the music, you feel the beat through the body. And then we go on to instruments. And those four areas are the main areas, so you experience through the whole body. And then you continue on to your instrumental work as well. And it's very, very popular, and I think part of the reason it is so popular is because you can bring your own way of doing things. So I obviously am Australian and I bring my Australian way of doing things, but I can come over to Nepal and teach this approach, and Sumit Pokhrel can use a Nepali way of
you can
doing
improvise it based on your need and assessment.
Yes,
right.
yes.
But the approach is very credible. You believe so?
Absolutely, and there's a lot of creativity as well. There's a lot of composition, so students will write their own music. There's a lot of improvisation because that's a strong part of the approach. Often you'll get brilliant musicians who can play so well in an orchestra, but they'll struggle to improvise. And so offshore work encourages you to not only be a great performer and player, but also to be able to create and compose and improvise as well.
We are coming almost at the end of this show, but before that I would like to, because you have been teaching the young children for more than 25 years and you are a trainer as well. So if there is opportunity, how will it be possible for you if somebody wants, if some schools in Nepal, if some societies in Nepal wants you to come Nepal again and teach them, teach their teachers, train their teachers, or some, I mean this approach, this new approach, let's say, for Nepal. So will it be possible for you to accept that request, and how can they tender their request?
Wow. Well, I'd be honoured. I'd be thrilled to come back and do some more work. And I know I've been coming to Nepal for 2 years now, and I've been working with Sumit Pokhrel for probably 4 years. I know that the program that we're developing between Australia and Nepal is developing momentum, and more educators in Australia are interested in the work that we are doing in Nepal. So even if I wasn't able to come across, I'm sure I could link up other people who could. But luckily as a teacher we do get reasonable holiday times, and it would just be a matter of someone approaching me and us organising it within those vacation periods of time.
So how long will be your vacation?
Sorry?
In a year, I mean 1 month, 2 months?
Well, currently we're on summer vacation,
Okay.
so we have about 5 weeks now,
Okay.
and then we have 2-week blocks 3 times a year as well. So I often come in April. It's much warmer in April.
Thank you, Cynthia Howard, for
It's a pleasure.
coming to our studio
Thank you.
and telling our viewers your approach of teaching young children. For past 25 years, you have been doing the same thing, and it's credible, you believe so. And you have come Nepal to contribute to Music Art Society, which is running for 5 years now in Nepal. And this society has been teaching the music for all kind of children, even the privileged, non-privileged, disabled children
Yeah.
for 5 years. And the number goes more than 1,000, I heard so. So thank you very much for coming and
pleasure.
telling us audience about your approach.
Thank you very much for having me.
दर्शकवृन्द, आजको यो कार्यक्रम यहीँ सकिन्छ। नमस्कार।